All right, so guys, this is number 5 out of 5.2. And it says, in a survey of a group of men, the heights in the 20 to 29 age group were normally distributed, with a mean of 67.1 inches and a standard deviation of 4 inches. A study participant is randomly selected. Excuse me, it says complete parts A through D below. Okay, so let's take a look here. So I know my mean is 67.1. So I'm going to write that down, 67.1. And my standard deviation, sigma, is equal to 4. Okay, so part A says, find the probability that a participant has a height that is less than 66 inches. Okay, what it's asking me to do is saying, what's the probability that X, the randomly chosen person, right, has a height that's less than 66? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert this X value to a Z-score. So remember, the way we convert to a Z-score is we're going to take X minus mu all over sigma. So my X number in this case is 66, so I'm going to write this out as 66 minus 67.1. Notice I'm putting that in parentheses over 4. So let me do this piece on my calculator, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. So here's my calculator. Let me clear this out. So we said 66 minus 67.1, and then I'm dividing that by 4, and I'm coming up with a negative 0.275. My Z values, guys, need to be rounded to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to write this as negative 0.28. Okay, so back here, yes, negative 0.28. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we've converted this X value to a Z-score, now I'm looking for what's the probability that Z is less than a negative 0.28. The idea here, my friends, is what we've really done is we've thought about the standard normal curve. I'm going to draw it up here because I don't have a lot of room. Okay, and remember my mean is 0, and then we have my 1, 2, and 3 deviations. 1, 2, and 3 deviations to the left. 2 and 3, and what I'm looking for is Z is smaller than negative 0.28. So negative 0.28 is just going to be a little bit to the left of 0. Okay, and because it's less, I'm looking for the area to the left. Okay, so I can do this on my calculator. And when I do this on my calculator, the idea is I'm going to use something called the normal CDF. Okay, now we're going to have 2 numbers. We're going to have a lower number and we're going to have an upper number. If you think about my kind of like my Z-axis here, right? And since I'm going all the way to the left, this idea would be negative infinity, and if I were going all the way to the right, it'd be a positive infinity. Because I can't actually use an infinity, the number that I'm going to use is a negative 9999, and then my upper number, where am I stopping at? I'm stopping at negative 0.28, so negative 0.28. And this is exactly how I'm going to type it on my calculator. I'm going to show you right now. So let me clear this out, and I'm going to go second in vars. The second one is my normal CDF, and if you notice, it has a lower bound and an upper bound, right? So my lower bound, we said, was a negative 9999, comma, my upper bound was a negative 0.28. Okay, hit enter, and for these, we're going to be going to 4 decimal places. So it looks like 0.3897. So 0.3897, and to show you that I'm telling you the truth, here's my problem. And so let me see if I can enter this in. 0.3897, and perfect. Okay, so we got part A done. Let's take a look at part B. Part B says, find the probability that the height is between 66 and 71. Okay, so go ahead and do that part. So I'm going to scroll over here, upload this picture. Let me just make it a little smaller so I have some more room. Okay, so we're trying to find the probability that their height is now between 66 and 71. Okay, so let me write this part out. What's the probability that the height is between 66 and 71? Okay, so what I would need to do now is I'm going to find 2 more Z-scores. I'm going to convert both of these to Z values. So the first one would be 66 minus, remember my mean was 67.1 all over my standard deviation. Now, that's the same thing that we did the first time, right? So we came up with a z-value of a negative 0.28, okay? So we're going to do this also for 71, okay? So let me find the one for 71. So I'm going to go 71 minus 67.1 all over 4, okay? So let me do that part on my calculator. So said 71 minus 67.1 divided by 4 is a 0.98. 0.98. So now what we're doing is we're going to say what's the probability that z is between these values, okay? So again, let me just show you roughly on a picture of what I'm doing. Here's my normal curve, right? Here's my mean of 0, and then 1, 2, 3. These are my deviations to the right, 1, 2, 3. These are my deviations to the left. So the two values that we're looking at are negative 0.28, which is just right here, and a 0.98, which is just to the left of 1. And we're looking for the area in between those two values, okay? So again, one more time, when I go normal, CDF, my lower value is right here, a negative 0.28, and my upper value is right there, the 0.98. So let me do this part on my calculator. So I'm going to go second vars, normal CDF, negative 0.28, comma, 0.98, close it off, and I'm coming up with 0.4467. So 0.4467, okay, and let's check our answer. So right here, 0.4467, and there we go, we got it, okay. And there is a part C. Part C, what happens if it's more than 71, okay? So let me come back here and let's upload that picture, and we'll make it a little smaller so we can have some room. Okay, so now part C says, what about if it's more than 71? So what's the probability that x is greater than 71? So again, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to convert that x value to a z-score. Now the thing is, we already did that earlier, right? And we came up with our z-value from the previous part to be 0.98, right? That was the number we got earlier, 0.98, there it is. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find what's the probability that z is greater than a 0.98. To draw you a picture. Guys, the picture to me is probably the most helpful part because it's going to help me realize what are my lower bounds, what are my upper bounds, and what is it really that I'm looking for, okay? So this is why I usually draw my picture. 0.98, remember we said it's just to the left of 1. And because I'm looking for bigger than, that means I'm going to the right. I'm looking for the area to the right, okay? So when I use my normal CDF, my lower bound in this case is a 0.98, and my upper bound, if I'm going all the way to the right, I would be going to infinity. So I'm just going to use 9999, okay? So let me do this one more time. Second vars, normal CDF, 0.98, comma, 9999, close it off, and I'm coming up with 0.1635, okay? So 0.1635 as my answer. So let me enter that in here. 0.1635. And I'm checking it. There we go. Perfect. Now part D says, do we have any unusual events? And it says unusual events are numbers that are smaller than 0.05. So if you notice, look at the three answers we came up with. I don't have any numbers that are smaller than 0.05. So I'm going to go ahead and select choice A. And I'm going to check my answer here. And we got it done, okay? So this was number 5 out of 5.2, guys. I hope it helps. If you got any questions, let me know.